Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. How are you guys doing today on this amazing Tuesday? Welcome back to my weekly story time with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where I tell you a story and then you can tell me a story. And even when it comes to a story, it is usually examples, because that's what stories are. Stories are examples that help us to learn and get closer to being who we're meant to be. So let me introduce myself as I like to introduce myself each and every time. I'm Yana Kasperczak, and I am your certified professional transformation and spiritual awakening core energy coach. And it has been my soul's purpose to help you, to help women to get their shit together so they can break free from that mental prison that they find themselves in and build a life and a business that they're not only proud of but excited to wake up to every single day, and stop self-sabotage and stop procrastination and stop over scheduling and over planning their days and not completing the tasks that they want to complete, not completing the projects that they want to complete. I help women to even do less and achieve more. So today, the topic that I have for all of you to share is 5 reasons why your life is not what you want it to be. Hey, Debbie, how are you doing? Debbie says, what's the fancy new technology? The fancy new technology is actually a microphone that my family, my husband, of course, got me for Mother's Day. So, because the previous one that I have, it never really worked. It was more of a decorational piece. And this one is, it works and it's beautiful and it's awesome. And it changes colors, as you guys can see. So I'm really, really happy with this one. Okay, so the topic for today, as I said, it's the 5 reasons why your life isn't what you want it to be. So what inspired this topic is this quote that all of you probably at this point have heard, and if you haven't heard it, this will be the first time you hear it. This quote: you become the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So the 5 reasons why your life isn't the way that you want it to be is the 5 people that you spend most of your time with, the 5 people that you surround yourself with, the 5 people that you share space with, the 5 people that you are perhaps allowing to affect and reprogram and recondition you and your life in the way that you may be not aware of, or maybe you are aware of it. So I want you to pause and think of those 5 people that you spend most of your time with. What are their attributes? What are they good at? What are they not good at? What is their financial situation? What are their relationships like? How do they talk? How do they communicate? Are they a positive person or a negative person? Or are they optimists or pessimists? If you are aware and know the energy levels, some of you know just a little bit, others know a lot more of the energy levels that I speak of and share the 7 energy levels. Are they in level 1? Are they mostly in that victim mind state or mindset where things are happening to them and nothing goes right? I can't do anything. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. Or are they in level 2? Are they fighters? Do they see things just happening to them and they get angry or get easily angry, easily annoyed and irritated and believe that the world is out to get them, that everything is against them? Or are they in level 3 where things happen to them and they just do everything they can to normalize that experience and make sense of it in their mind, but actually do nothing about it? Or are they in level 4 where they're putting everything and everyone first? And this is where you can also check yourself with these energy levels. Or are they in level 4 where they're just taking care of everyone and putting everyone first and everything first and not taking care of themselves? Or maybe they're mostly in level 5 where they are an optimist and they see a lot of opportunities everywhere. They are the opportunists. They see a lot of opportunities in everything and everyone. Everything is a challenge. There's no problems. There's just challenges. And then they can also find themselves, even though it's a great level, but they also can find themselves in a state of what many of you would understand as analysis by paralysis, where there's so many opportunities, so many different things that they can do. So they get so inspired, so motivated. They start a lot of projects, but they never complete any. And then there are people who are in level 6, where you don't see them walking around on the streets very often. And I say that because they tend to keep more to themselves and not so much interacting with lower energy people. But level 6 is where you are the visionary. This is where you are intuition and you are more in a flow state. And then level 7 people, and this is where all of us have access to these energy levels and all of us live them and experience them one way or another. But level 7 is you are creator. You understand and know that we are one and we are all connected, and that who you are today will have a ripple effect on other people around you. And this is where at this level, when you are here, you are just being. You're not trying to be anything or anyone. You are being you. This is where your most true authentic self lives and exists. And you also can be brought down depending on who you surround yourself with from that energy level. And eventually, if you surround yourself with people who are at lower energy levels, you become just like them. It's like, think of it as herd mentality. And the herd does not know that it's part of the herd. But once they isolate themselves from the herd, they start to see themselves as the individual, as who they are, and they get to know who they are. And that's why most people don't want to do that. That's why most people will keep themselves busy and entertain and socialize with other people, because they don't feel comfortable with themselves. They feel a little intimidated or scared or uneasy with just spending time with themselves and getting to know themselves, because there's thoughts that, the rumination tends to happen, there's thoughts that come through, there's questions that come to mind, and it doesn't feel comfortable, so they busy themselves with mundane things, or they busy themselves with other people and don't recognize that they're starting to become in that way by default. So the people that you surround yourself with, this is where the 5 reasons why your life isn't the way you want it to be. Most likely it is those 5 people, the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. And I also speak from my own experience and the experience of every single woman that I have worked with, every single woman that I have talked with. And it comes down to this, that so there are quite a few women that I had worked with. They would have, they were happy and cheerful and happy-go-lucky people and optimists. And then they got a job that they really liked and enjoyed. The job itself was great and they loved and enjoyed it, but people around them, they were just negative, just complaining and whining about things, but complaining and whining about things in like a joking, cheery kind of way. And before they knew it, it didn't even take that long, by the way. It did not even take that long. For most of them, like just averaging it out, it took 3 months. 3 months for those women who were optimists, who were happy-go-lucky, who were cheerful, who saw positive in everything, to become pessimists, to become negative, to see the negative in everything, and feel miserable and not know why. And then having hired me to help them overcome themselves and start to get their shit together because they just weren't happy. They were miserable. This, through coaching, they discovered that they became those women unconsciously, even though they were there trying to be the positive light in their life. They became negativity because at the end of the day, they could not drown out the negativity. Debbie said, must be hard to coach people in lower vibrations and not be brought down. Initially it was, and this is where I also learned I have no clients and I have yes clients. There is, when it comes to low energy people, I work with low energy people, but they're not always low energy. They just have a different mind state. And the difference is that the people that I work with are the people that are ready to get their shit together. They are willing to hear to what I'm saying and are willing to do what needs to get done in order for them to overcome themselves. And then there's others who are just there to whine and complain. Sorry if that's you, but I am here to be brutally honest as a coach, to also remind each and every one of us who might be in that state where I was in that place as well, where it just not ready to do anything, but just needed a shoulder to cry on, just wanted to whine and complain, and just wanted to be heard and seen, but not actually take any actions, not actually do the homework, not actually do the work that was going to get me out of that state. So I learned that myself, and that's why I hired a coach that was there to remind me of who I am versus who I was being, and I would get all these things done, all the work done, and before I knew it, I was a new version of myself. And that's why before I say yes to, I don't just say yes to someone that wants to work with me just because they want to work with me and they're ready to pay. I interview them just as if they're interviewing me to see if they are the right fit and to see if they're willing to do the work. And one of the things that I do is I give them a little bit of homework. And if they don't do that little bit of homework, then it's going to be a no. You can tell me all the things that you think I want to hear, but in the end, the little tests that go beyond just the conversation, if those things are not done, if I don't see any proof and evidence, then right now is not the time. When you're ready, let me know, and then we'll talk. So, hello, Kelly. How are you doing, beautiful? Hi, Rebecca. Well, a long time no see. So that's what happens when you surround yourself with 5 people that you spend most of your time with. You become just like them, unconsciously, unknowingly, no matter how positive you are. If your circle is full of negative people, you're simply going to end up feeling drowned out by that negativity. So that's why it's important to shift and switch to those people that you want to be more like. If you want to have more money in your life, and right now your story is a money story, and that is what is drowning you, and you feel this is where anxiety is coming from, then surround yourself with people who have more money than you. And how do you know people that have more money than you? It's not going to be those that are talking about it, because people that have money, they're not going to talk about it. People that are happy and joyful, they're not going to be talking about it because they're going to be busy doing it. They're going to be busy living it. If you want a happy relationship, you're not going to surround yourself and spend time with people who are talking about how amazing their relationship is, because chances are they're busy talking about it. they're not living it. And they'll use examples and stories and share, but they're not going to be talking about it all the time. And you get to hear and see those people who have great relationships, happy relationships. They're walking the talk, they're not talking the walk, right? Those people who have their shit together, they're not talking about getting their shit together. They may be, as myself, helping you and teaching you and helping through knowledge and wisdom and tips and tricks and little homeworks here and there and the little doing sessions here and there. But you don't really see or hear me talking about where and how I have my shit together in my life, because I'm busy living it. And I have been there, done that, where I talked about things and I was busy talking about them and not doing them. So I learned to stop talking about those things and do them instead. And then show you what it's like. Some of you, just one little example without going into detail, some of you see all the different things that I'm doing, all the different projects that I'm doing. And in order for me to do those projects, I don't spend much time talking about them, right? And to me, this is also the definition of having my shit together. And I continue to get my shit together in other areas of my life because new opportunities come up, new learning lessons come up, new challenges come up, and I learn from them, and then I share it as a story in one way or another. So when it comes to, let me see, I have a few little notes. Okay, so here's the reason why, when it comes to the 5 people that you surround yourself with, why those 5 people are holding you hostage in your mental prison. Number 1, they're an emotional drain. When you constantly expose yourself to negative people or to people that have, let's say, their mindset or their stories are negative when it comes to money, time, relationships, opportunities, or health, or wealth, and all the different areas of wealth, because wealth is not just financial, there's so much more to wealth. I did a video on this one before. So you become that way. It rubs off on you. It's like if you're walking in a really tight corridor, hallway, and you have white chalk, and you're wearing a black shirt, and you have white chalk on all of these walls, and you can't, even as you're walking sideways, you can't walk through this hallway without touching the chalk. It's going to rub off on you. You will do your best, but there's parts of you that are going to touch it. And as some of you might have experienced, it might be a little challenging to get that white chalk out of a black sweater or a black shirt. It's kind of like that, right? You get tainted, you get their dirt on you, they're emotionally draining you, and you feel tired and you feel exhausted. If they have no confidence, and you might not even be aware of how they're expressing that they have no confidence, you yourself will start to lose confidence. You become the average of those 5 people you spend most of your time with. Maybe those people have very limited perspective. Guess what happens? Your perspective will become limited. It's more narrow. You want to surround yourself with people who are not even looking through binoculars. They're not looking through one little tube. You want to, another way of explaining it is this way. You know how there's a phrase that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? You don't want to surround yourself with people who believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. You want to surround yourself with people who believe and know that there is no tunnel. That the tunnel itself is an illusion. That everything is light. It's just right now You are going through a lower energetic state of mind and being, because you can only be living your life at level 7 or level 6 or level 5 for so long before you need to recharge your battery. That right now what you're going through is a lower energy because you are recharging. And that means being more understanding and loving and accepting of yourself and your energy, and not shaming or guilting yourself for doing less, but allowing yourself to do less. There was, I would say, a comment made or like a statement. At the same time, it was also kind of like a question that I don't see you, me, Yana, I don't see you, Yana, having any days off where you're not doing anything. And it's because I do have those days, but they're not full days. They are times and moments where I spend the time doing nothing at all. I call it procrastination with purpose, where I'm procrastinating and I'm not doing anything because the purpose is to heal, is to just be in that lower energetic state because my battery needs recharging. We're all like a phone. When you look at your phone, you can see the batteries going low and down. When it gets to 5%, there's a reason why your screen gets dark and you don't have, your apps are not functioning properly. It's because that phone is telling you it needs to be recharged. It's low energy. It's at 5% capacity, which if we convert it into the 7 energy levels, it will be at level 1. It is not functioning properly. It can't run some of the apps because it needs to be recharged. Now, you have options. You have an option to go to the top and turn the light all the way bright so you can see. And then that way what's going to happen is the battery will drain so much faster. Because what's happening with your phone is it's trying to conserve its energy because it knows it's low. And it needs you to plug it in and recharge it so it can be full and it can give you all the things that you need from it, and it can work and operate properly because it needs that time. You are the same way. Your body is telling you when it's time to recharge, when it's time to turn that light down, when it's time to take it easier and not to turn your light on your phone to full capacity. That means to go within and give more to yourself and not so much for others or to others. So people with limited perspective are the ones that if you're spending time with them, you will become that way. You won't even be aware of that. Those people who are stressed, anxious, paranoid, overwhelmed, or depressed, if you're spending a lot of time with them, you will become like them by default. And some of these people actually, you might not even know or recognize the signs of them being any of those states, whether they're anxious or depressed or overwhelmed or stressed. You might not even know it because they're really good at masking it, at telling you all is good, all is great, but reality is quite opposite of what they're telling you. So, but if you spend time learning the language, understanding the telltales of when someone is stressed, depressed, or overwhelmed, or anxious, you will know. And I'm not saying it to completely cut those people out of your life. I'm just saying this so that way you can spend less time with them and trust that they got everything they need to work on those things. Or maybe you can recommend something that will help them, or someone that can help them as well to work through those things. But for you, you gotta choose you. You gotta choose your peace. And if those people that you surround yourself with are in that state of mind, you're going to get impacted. That's going to rub off on you just like that chalk in the really tight hallway. No matter how much you try to get through it, it's just not going to work. And sometimes the closer you get to those people, the more tighter the hallway becomes and more chalk you end up getting on yourself. That it's just practically impossible, that you need to then wash that whole entire sweater, and that's going to take time and a lot of water to clean that off, which means that for you, in order for you to get back to who you are, you need to do a lot of internal work to cleanse yourself from that negativity, from that darkness. But be careful with imposters. That's what I'm really talking about, is that there's people who are really good at playing a role of, I got this, I'm great, I got my shit together, everything is just flowing, but that is not the reality. And then you can usually tell when you start paying attention to energy and your intuition and your gut feeling, when you are spending time with certain people, if you feeling uneasy or something feels off, listen to it. And if you don't listen to it, sooner or later you will know exactly why. But pay attention to your intuition. It has never failed you. And distance yourself from those people, because you're not responsible for their peace. You're responsible for yours. You're not responsible for their happiness. You're responsible for yours. And if you are like myself and you are a coach and you work with people who are in the lower energy levels, you have a choice who to work with and who not to work with. You also have a choice to recommend someone else, or perhaps maybe therapy or psychiatry might be a better fit for them, because as a coach, it is not my job or my responsibility to help people go fix their past. I help them understand their past and how it's fitting into who they are being right now, and then what do we do and go forward. That's what my job is. Therapists, psychiatrists, they help you with living in the past and working through the past and going through all of that and deep diving and dissecting, but that's not what I do, because I know, even from my own experience, but that spending time in the past more than even 5 minutes, it can have a massive effect on your today and on your tomorrow and your tomorrow. So a couple of minutes in the past to help you understand how it's affecting your present and your future. But that's about it, right? Not spending too much time there, because it brings you and your energy into that space. And if you're spending time with people who are living in their past and talking about their past all the time, then you are learning a certain habit from them, how they're being. Impact on relationships. Negative people may strain your relationships by fostering conflict, confrontation, right? Some people in your life, they might be very confrontational, maybe towards other people, not towards you yet. One day they might be. And if that is not you, let it go. Let them be. Maybe there's people who are distrusting, and that starts to rub off on you. Maybe there's people who express resentment, and that rubs off on you. Maybe there's people who end up, they're the type of people that have a lot of expectations, and they put expectations on everything and everyone, and then afterwards they feel disappointed and they feel resentful towards the other person, and they put expectations on them. And all of these things, they will foster and create unhealthy dynamics and relationships, and will usually tend to lead to breakdowns in communications as well. There's people maybe in your circle that have a lot of self-doubt or insecurity. That's going to rub off on you. And if you don't like it, don't enjoy it, then find other people who are confident, who have great communication skills, who are secure, who are working through self-doubt, and you can see, or they already don't have self-doubt because they have worked through it. And then there's limiting beliefs. You can hear that in conversations with people that are limited by their beliefs. Or maybe there's people in your life who are fighting for their limitations. Oh, I am this way because of this, or things are this way because of that. That's usually a telltale of people who are fighting for their limitations and them not doing anything about it. I am this way because of this. Well, that, like I said, is more often than not is a sign that things are this way because of that, so there's nothing I can do about it. That's really what it means, that I am this way because of that. And then what they say afterwards will usually tell you what kind of a person they are and their characteristics and their personal traits as well. And there's people in your life who are not goal-oriented, who are not dreamers. And if those are the people that are in your life, then chances are you will be that way. But if you surround yourself, just pause for a second and think. Just picture having 5 people you spend most of your time with. Every single one of those 5 people, they are goal-oriented. They know exactly what they want and why they want it. They have plans and structures for every goal, and they're showing up for their goals and for their dreams every single day. You have people who are clear on who they are. They're happy with themselves. They are positive. They're optimistic. They don't see problems. They see challenges. And they see each challenge as an opportunity for them. And they also recognize that not every challenge and not every opportunity is what they're going to go after. They know which ones they're going to go after and which ones they're just great ideas, but not now or not never, and just letting them go. And there's people who, those 5 people, that they are emotionally stable. They know who they are. They know how to regulate their emotions and feelings and work through them. That they don't have, these people, they have a very broad perspective because they know that the tunnel itself does not exist. They have amazing relationships. They have great relationships. They have great communication skills. They have empowering money stories. They have positive mindset. Just imagine you spending 3 months with 5 people like that every single day. Where do you think your life would be 3 months from now by just surrounding yourself with those people every single day? Versus people who are full of self-doubt, they're stressed, they're insecure, they have no confidence, they limit themselves in their beliefs, they are miserable, they have limited perspectives, they don't have good relationships, they whine and complain about everything. Everything is happening to them and nothing is happening for them. They have no goals, they have no dreams, because why bother? I tried before and it never worked, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. It's easier not having any goals, not having any dreams, and just doing what life is telling me to do every single day and feeling miserable. They're like in zombie mode. How would your life be with these 5 people versus these 5 people? Where would your life be in 3, 6, 12 months from now? Probably in a very different place than where it has been. Or people who are, they're not physically healthy, and that is what they're talking about all the time and not doing anything about it at all. And people who have who are affected by their physical health, research suggests that chronic exposure to negativity can and will impact your physical health, weakening your immune system, which increases the risk of your health issues. See, disease is created by dis-ease in the body. And what creates this ease in the body is our feelings and emotions. Such things like stress, anxiety, burnout, overwhelm, depression, negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That is what creates dis-ease in your body, and it creates disease. Because it triggers and talks to those cells in your body that are carrying that disease. All of us have every single disease and every single cancer you can think of in our bodies, every single one of us. But what triggers them and multiplies them is this ease, the stress, anxiety, fear, worries, panic attacks, negativity, all of those negative experiences that have gone ignored or untreated, not dealt with. That's why we get to the way that we get to. And also colds and flus because of the weaker immune system. There's people who don't get sick and they spend time with sick people. Why? It's because their nervous system and who they are inside dictates of how sick they're going to be and how sick they're not going to be. So these are the reasons why, and how you can usually tell those 5 people that you don't want to surround yourself with versus the 5 people that you do want to surround yourself with. And 5 potential reasons why your life might not align with your desires is lack of clarity. You're not clear of what you're doing, where you're going, and why. Fear of failure. That's the one that holds every single human being back until they recognize that fear itself is the fire, is the ignition, is the gasoline on the fire that you can learn, like we all learn, to use to our advantage and not go into the states of fight or flight. Limiting beliefs is another one that holds us back. Comfort zones, massive ones, because it's nice to stay in the comfort zone and it's scary to step out of it for many different reasons. And of course, external influences, not limited to the 5 people you surround yourself with, because there's a lot more to it. So that is all that I have for you all for today. Thank you very much for being on here with me. Thank you, Rebecca, for commenting. Let me take a peekaboo at some of the comments that Rebecca shared. Here we go. Rebecca says, great metaphor. That was for when I was talking about walking through the hallway in a black sweater with white chalk. And then Rebecca said, yep, and I noticed that I can't recharge in one day. I usually need at least 2 or more days to get back to 100%. And the reason for that is because in order for you to drown out all the negativity, and perhaps there might be quite a bit, you need a lot of time to recharge. It's like some phones, when they have been used a lot, initially you might have needed just half an hour to recharge that phone. But after use and abuse of that phone, you might need 2 hours to recharge that phone. Now, you can do something about it, right? With the phone, you can go and get a new battery and then it will be back as new. You yourself just need a new upgrade, new system, new structure, new path to follow that will help you to recharge easier and quicker and not allow other things or external circumstances or experiences to affect you so deeply that it takes days or hours and hours to recharge. Rebecca says, therapists help with mental health and behavioral health issues. Depending on the therapist, there's different types of therapists. There's different types of psychiatrists and psychologists. There's so many different titles to different and yet similar professions. And professions. I was going to say careers, but I guess it's in a way a career as well. And then Rebecca says, that was me just a couple of years ago. I am this way because of that until I learned I am not my experiences. Yeah, I love that. You're definitely not your experiences. Your experiences don't define you. They help you to become who you are today and who you will be tomorrow. Everything is figure outable, was paradigm shift for me. Yeah, that was, that's a great book, by the way. Everything is figure outable. If you haven't read it, read it. Everything literally is figure outable. Every problem has more than one solution, or at least one solution. And if the more you try to focus on figuring something out, the harder it will be. So the best thing to do is to go and do something different. Take your mind off whatever it is that you're trying to figure out, because your mind is still not going to be completely off. That problem, whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's going to be in the back of your mind, replaying unconsciously, and the solution will come to you. But the more you try to focus on the solution, the longer it will come, it will take to come to you. So distract yourself, go do something different. Something different can literally be anything that is going to help you to calm your nervous system down. Because if your nervous system is not calm, you can't see or think clearly. You've clouded judgment, clouded mind. So you need to shift and calm your nervous system down, and then everything will come to you much easier. Like the river, just it flows. Rebecca says, my kids are sick every other week and I rarely get sick. When I do, it's usually when I've been stressed. See? And I mean, with kids, I can't really speak about their immune systems right now. I'm not an expert with kids, but there might be also stress factor with kids. Kids, they're like fragile flowers, like we are. They can get stressed, and what causes them stress is not the same things that cause us stress. And so it might also be stress with kids, or it might be because their immune systems are building themselves up, right? Every time we get sick, we build immunity to that sickness, and the next time we won't get sick from the same thing. Immune systems are also built. If I remember, there was one lady who shared a story with me that, so she had two kids, and one of her first child that she had, she, every time the pacifier would fall down, she would clean it, she would wash it. She would only wear that clothes one time, and then afterwards the clothes would be washed and everything was just clean and sanitized. So that daughter of hers was always sick. Always. And to this day, her immune system is not as strong. Whereas, and now she's about, maybe 5 years younger than me. And then when her second daughter came around, she didn't clean the pacifier, she let her wear the clothes. And that second child, her immune system was very strong and very, very immune. To this day, she rarely ever got sick, and if she got sick, she would be sick for maybe a day, maybe two tops. And strong immune system. So immune systems are also built by the kids being exposed to dirty things. And also there's been research done on kids who grew up with animals, with pets in the home, versus those who didn't. Those who grew up with animals and pets have much stronger immune systems because they were exposed to a lot of bacteria and germs, versus those who were not. So yeah, living in a sterile environment versus living in real world, that could be the difference as well. Anyways, other than that, thank you very much for everyone being on here, and thank you, Rebecca, for commenting and sharing with me as well. Thank you, Debbie. I saw Lisa was on here as well. Thank you, Lisa. And any one of you who is watching on replay, silent watchers or not, say hey, and I'm saying hey to you as well. So thank you for being on here. Thank you for listening. And I would love to hear what your biggest takeaway was from today's podcast, from today's video. That was your aha moment, and perhaps what you're going to do with that aha moment as well. Because my son's first 3 years were in a bubble, so he had a weak immune system. I guess the research is right, and I was not part of the research. I just read up on that and I learned. Yeah. So anyways, other than that, thank you once again. And until we see each other next week on Tuesday at 11:45-ish, depending on when the Secret Circle is done, live on my personal page, where I will have another topic to share with you with the story time with myself, Yana Kasperczak. And maybe we'll see each other even tomorrow, live in our Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women, where Bethany and I will go live for our podcast, Heal the Unicorn, on a topic that I do not have in front of me, but usually it is always something that helps you to heal emotionally and grow spiritually. And that is all. Thank you. And I am now hungry. I got to go eat before my next call. Okay. Have an amazing the rest of your day, ladies. Bye. My button is being covered by slow connection, so I'm gonna have to bear with me for a second before I can click. Okay. And now I can click. Bye, everybody.